Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I want to discuss some breaking news concerning XRP and what Fox News and the interview and the guests they had on talking about an XRP settlement tomorrow. And there's some very weird things going on with that. I'm going to discuss that and go over the interview. I'm also going to go over Christopher Harris's prophetic words concerning the SEC case and XRP and also some instructions. Because, you know, this information that's Fox Business News put out makes me wonder if they are actually blowing the horn and saying, hey, something's getting ready to happen. And the person who made this claim about the settlement tomorrow said some very weird things after the interview too as well. I'm also going to discuss what happened with the cryptocurrency library and the SEC. That's very important, and what we think could happen with the SEC case. I'm also going to touch on the Bitcoin buy limit orders and the different platforms, and also the low buy limit orders for Shiba Inu and Luna Classic. Now, before I go any further, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. Just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and get into this. Before I get into the video, I do want to go ahead and go over XRP's current pricing right now, which is currently sitting at 0.3719. Its 24-hour low is 0.32.5 cents. It just really only hit its low, 32.5 cents, over the last 30, 60, 90 days or whatever. You remember during the whole Celsius thing and Luna Classic, it actually got down to like 26 cents or something crazy like that, right? And then it went on a bull run, to like 61 or 62 cents. Right, and now it's back down to 37 cents. Now, XRP is a prophetic coin, and there are many different prophetic dreams and visions concerning XRP, and that God has his hand on XRP and the future of how he's going to shape and form our economy over the next several years. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into this. We know there's a lot going on with FTX. There's a whole lot of fallout coming. I don't know if any more of what's going on with FTX is going to bring down Bitcoin anymore. Just like Celsius and Luna, when it crashed, it did bring down Bitcoin pretty low, but it didn't get as low as FTX in the whole fallout of 15,600 or so. And so maybe they thought with this FTX collapsing, it would have driven Bitcoin down to zero, right? So that's why it's important, folks, to have your Bitcoin buy limit orders set up already, because it could have crashed down to zero because of what happened with FTX. Now, there's still a lot of fallout that could happen, but I don't think it's going to be enough to bring down Bitcoin unless these companies have to sell off all their Bitcoin in order to have cash on hand because of the mistakes that they made by investing in FTX, and anybody else who's involved in losing funds with FTX. There's a lot of speculation that people are going to be selling off Bitcoin, which could cause a flash crash. But this Fox Business interview with Mornings with Maria, and she's interviewing Natalie Burnell, and she has her own podcast. And so she says something about the XRP and a settlement that's going to happen tomorrow. And listen to what she says. She clearly says exactly what was going to happen tomorrow. So today is November the 14th. So tomorrow is November the 15th. And she says some weird things after this interview on Twitter, and we'll get into that. But let's go ahead and take a listen to exactly what she says.
Like a Google, that's fine. But what I'm worried about is there a potential for this to spiral out of control and affect other assets? Because, Natalie, you know that when you're a big investor and you have a stake in one area and you're losing a lot of money in that area, you have to sell elsewhere, and you sell what you can sell. So you sell where you have liquidity. Does this FTX story have the potential to create wider losses in more assets and more traditional assets? I know you're expecting a settlement tomorrow in the lawsuit between the Securities and Exchange Commission and Ripple. The SEC's filing from 2020 alleged that Ripple Labs and two of its executives raised over $1.3 billion through an unregistered digital securities offering. This is a separate case, but your thoughts on whether any of this has the potential to take down other markets like the stock market?
Absolutely, Maria. Well, it goes to your first point. When contagion happens, it's because everything is cross-collateralized and the system at large based on credit is so fragile. So we do see Bitcoin drawing down, and we can see other assets drawing down as people liquidate in order to cover cover their margins and their shorts. And so I think what's important to know about the SEC and Ripple, and it'll be interesting to see what the verdict will be, is that the SEC charged Ripple with violating securities law and argues that it passes the Howey test. It says that it's a common enterprise, an investment contract and a common enterprise. And the big thing I want people to remember, no matter what happens tomorrow, is right now you can go to Twitter or Google and you can find Ripple's CEO. And Ripple is the largest holder of its own token. Sound familiar? So if there's a CEO, if there's a company, if there's a pre-mine, a foundation, an ICO, it's not Bitcoin. And be careful trusting your life savings to a CEO.
Wow. All right. Good point. Natalie, it's great to see you. Please come back soon. Love your analysis. Natalie Brunell joining us this morning.
All right. So you heard it right out of her mouth. Maria even said you're expecting this SEC and XRP case to be settled tomorrow. So, I'm not familiar with her, but she has a very big following, a large podcast, and she has many different people in the financial realm on her show. So maybe somebody has shared something with her. And how does she know? She's got to hear something from the inside, right? And so maybe this is just FUD. Maybe she was fed FUD, or maybe she was told to put this information out. But this could also be a warning, folks, that, hey, this case, the announcement could happen at any time now. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys an example of what happened to a different cryptocurrency that is going through and went through the same thing as XRP. But this is the very strange thing. Here, Eleanor Terrett, I guess she is a Fox Business News journalist, and she said here, per a Ripple spokesperson, this morning's report on an expected settlement between Ripple and the SEC government tomorrow on 11/15 is false. All right, so now they're saying that this is not true at all whatsoever, right? According to what she said Ripple was saying. Okay, then that same person that we just heard, this is what she tweeted, and this is where it gets really, really weird. I'm told Fox Business Network is going to run a correction tomorrow for the network's graphics and for saying a settlement was expected since there was never a claim I made or was aware of. Thanks. Now, that is absolutely insane. So she's basically, she's saying that she never made the claim or she wasn't aware of it. Okay, now she's either being sarcastic, right? Or she's just basically, clearing up her mistake, right? Or their mistake. And I don't think it was a mistake. And it seems like when either politicians or other people make important statements, then they come back and they backtrack later on. This could be that case where that's exactly what she's doing, because she was asked by Maria, right? She's the one doing the interview. She's the one on the Fox Business Network. And so obviously she knew already that this woman had expected this XRP case to be settled. Very, very weird. And this just goes to show, I think, folks, that a lot of things are just set up. Okay, and I believe that however things are set up, no matter what happens, God is going to turn it all around for our good. All right, but again, this just shows how much more we need to be prepared. Now, I'm getting ready to share with you about Library Token. Okay, that's LBRY. And they are going through something similar with XRP. Right, and so this has been going on since I believe March of 2021. And it says here, Library sold tokens as securities, a federal judge rules. The SEC sued Library last March on allegations it sold its native LBC token in violation of federal security laws. Right? The case is pretty similar. All right, and the judge basically ruled the fair notice defense is not going to work. Okay, and there's some other things that were going on with that. But folks, the government already views cryptocurrencies, most of them, as securities. Okay, and Gary Gensler, all he is supposed to do is enforce the laws. And he did come out when he took over and said, hey, these crypto projects, these crypto platforms need to come in and register. He was giving people opportunity to come in and register. But of course, the crypto industry is saying, no, we're not securities or whatever, so we're not going to do it. So now I believe because of what's going on with FTX, that now you're going to see this major force of enforcement just go out there and start hammering these platforms or some of these projects. And we've discussed that, folks, that out of over 20-something thousand cryptocurrencies, I can honestly say probably within the next year, half of them should be going away. And so with this case, the 21st, it says here that the judge's ruling on Monday means the library case will not go to trial. A status hearing to determine the next steps is slated for November the 21st. Now, you can still purchase library token, right? But the case is almost exactly the same. And you can see here that library is currently sitting at 0.0113. Before this ruling, it was sitting at like 0.022. Okay, so really it only lost a little bit more than half its value after this ruling came against library. Some people say, some people might ask, well, should I invest in this particular crypto? I don't have any knowledge or anything. I don't know anything about library or anything like that. But if the XRP case decision is going to be made soon, it's going to affect the entire markets, whether it goes up or whether it goes down, whether XRP wins or they lose. All right, so this is an addition. I had just finished recording the video on XRP in the SEC case, and then it appears that the judge has granted motions to file some briefs by November the 18th. 6 XRP holders, Coinbase, CCI, Valhill, Cryptillion, and a few others. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any type of SEC ruling tomorrow. I don't know why she put that information out there and then backtracked. So very weird. But the whole most important thing is to make sure we're in position. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Christopher Harris's prophetic dream about XRP when he originally posted it on May the 28th. And he says here, "Hi, brothers and sisters. I have an important dream to share I received on May the 21st. In the dream, I was in the room with my brother and others and was proclaiming to them with confidence something similar to these words. Ripple will lose their case. This will trigger the BTC flash crash to zero, but it will be overturned and it will be fine again. I believe me telling my brother and others in this dream is for me to share with my brothers and sisters in Christ." Okay. Then he goes on to discuss some other important information concerning the SEC and the XRP case. So he follows up with his own words saying, "So it looks like Ripple losing to the SEC would be a huge bad news for crypto, leading to a major crash, even BTC to zero. The dream indicates the decision against Ripple will be overturned and it will be fine again, likely leading to the next bull run after the crash. I was shown to get in XRP after the BTC flash crash, converting BTC to XRP and other altcoins when BTC is at 10K after it recovers from zero." So we're going to go ahead and we'll go over that. But folks, so this is basically one of very few people who have actually had any kind of prophetic words on the XRP case. Now this part is very important because these are instructions when BTC does flash crash. So this also begs the question is that if these are instructions, then we're actually able to still log into our platforms. I would probably say most of the platforms we should be able to log into after this happens. You may not be able to log in right away, but you might be able to log in at some point, and so that you're able to fulfill these instructions. So this is Christopher Harris from March the 18th of 2022. And he says here, "In a dream this morning, I heard these words. It went from 10K from zero. I believe this is about BTC recovering quickly to 10K from the flash crash. Later in the dream, I saw a written statement saying, transfer BTC at 10K to XRP and wait till you see what you get. I believe this is about converting BTC to XRP while BTC has a good amount to rise from 10K to fulfill a previous sequence I saw, 66K. This is an approximate 6-time gain, whereas holding XRP from 10K BTC might be more than a 6 times gain." Okay, so basically these are the instructions, is that when Bitcoin crashes to zero, right? And then your orders are filled. Then when it reaches 10K, you're going to sell off your Bitcoin and put it into XRP. All right, so let me say that again. So when Bitcoin goes to zero and your Bitcoin buy limit orders between 1 cent and however, maybe up to $1 or however far you put it out, when Bitcoin reaches back up to 10,000, to sell some of it and put it into XRP and then wait to see what you get. So could you imagine all the people that are doing this, right, in the wealth transfer community, that when that happens, the majority, I would probably think that because we're instructed to do this, that a lot of people in the wealth transfer community will be buying up a lot of the XRP. So looking at Christopher Harris's prophecy document, right, and you can see here, this is back from 2019. Right? Then this morning in a dream, I saw the price go up on a chart just a bit over 10K, then drop back down with a big wick. It seemed like it dropped so fast, I saw numbers dropping, then I saw 800. Okay, so that is, I believe that's one of the reasons why we are going to be selling off our Bitcoin at 10K is because it's going to crash back down to zero, which could be caused from a lot of the people who are in the wealth transfer to sell Bitcoin off at 10,000, reset back up our orders, right, back down to zero again, right, between a penny and all the way back up to $1, but this time you're going to have a whole lot more to work with. And I'll go over that here in a little bit. March 31st of 2021, I had a dream where I saw the BT price on an exchange. It was crashing. I didn't see the upper figures, only the lower ones, changing rapidly to 20 to 18 to 0, up to 18, then it changed to 32,000, then it went back to 0 again. In the dream, I was trying to place orders, but was having difficulty due to the rapid changing price, and it made me think to have orders set in advance. All right, so there he saw it go down to 0, then go all the way up to 32,000 really quickly, and then go back down to 0 again. Okay, so remember, I shared this before already. So Bitcoin is going to crash to 0 here. That's the first step. Your orders are going to refill. It's going to jump back up to 10K. Then you're going to sell your Bitcoin at 10K. Okay, because it's going to end up dropping back to 0. Right? You're going to buy XRP, Shiba, ETN, and other altcoins. Whatever their prices are at, these are some of the cryptocurrencies that have been given instructions for. Then, after that, you're going to set up new Bitcoin buy limit orders back from a penny all the way up to $1. This time, you're going to have a whole lot more money to work with. So this is one of the instructions. Right now, going back and looking at one of his other dreams where he said he saw it go from $20 to $18, then to 0, then up to 32,000. You may want to set some Bitcoin above 20,000 and maybe even some at 32,000, right? It just depends on how much you get altogether. Some people are going to be taking their Bitcoin and putting it on a ledger. Right now, I don't know how all this is going to work out. Obviously, God has given us instructions, so we should be able to log in, at least most of us, into our platforms, right? And we should be able to log into our ledgers or Trezor ledger, however you guys do it, whether it's online. But some people are going to be putting their Bitcoin onto a hard ledger. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the BTC buy limit order document. This document is down below in the description. All right, so you need to read it very carefully. And I'm going to be going over these platforms. Now, we've had an issue with some platforms going down. And I actually had FTX on this because you could set up low buy limit orders. Now, I did put out warnings before they shut everything down. And most people, it looks like they were able to get out. Plus, the only thing I had on there was just a little bit of Shiba Inu and my Bitcoin buy limit orders. And that's all I had on there. I think it was like $40 worth of crypto altogether, right? And that's why, one of the things is that, people need to pay attention to what's going on. And there are some people that have written me and said, hey, I just found out about FTX, 2 or 3 days later. And I'm like, Where's you guys' head at in all this? You're supposed to be somewhat paying attention. And I've put out the tools. We've talked about the tools. We have the Patreon. We have the Discord. We also have the Telegram. And other groups are putting out this information too as well. So I have here the Bitcoin buy limit order. I want you guys to read this through. Now, according to the prophetic word, there are 3 different platforms that specifically were mentioned in prophetic words concerning the Bitcoin buy limit orders when Bitcoin flash crash happens, right? Okay, so I'm going to go over each one of them. The international exchange Bittrex, that's one. Now, the links to each one of these is right here. Now, keep in mind, most of these links actually go to other people, right? So other people, if you decide to go on here and you do sign up and you do place low Bitcoin buy limit orders, say for instance like Coinbase, I've had that Maria Conwell's referral link up there for what, 5-6 months now, okay? And I have some other people that some of these different platforms, they have their referral. I'm not a greedy person, and I'll take somebody's referral and put it into a document like this, and hopefully they benefit from it. So Bittrex, it's an international exchange. Okay, so you're able to put in Bitcoin buy limit orders from 1 cent all the way up to, I have them all the way up to $1. Okay, and most people shouldn't have issues. If you live in New York or Oregon or Washington, you might have problems, and you might have problems if you live in Canada. Okay, so I just want to get all that out the way. There are certain states that will restrict you from some of these platforms. Kucoin, which is another one. Now, you can't get, unless you're outside the United States, some people in the United States said they were able to fully do KYC and go through the whole thing. But because there are issues with if you can't do KYC, you're limited on how much you can send off of your exchange at one time. So if the Bitcoin flash crash happens and I get, say, 500 Bitcoin right before it goes up to 10,000, I'll probably send it off to another exchange like Bittrex, Coinbase, or Kraken. Okay, Coinbase, a lot of people know this very well. We've been through a lot with Coinbase prophetically, and we've been praying, and people have been praying over their investment, been praying over the exchanges, and Coinbase has strengthened itself. God has blessed Coinbase over the last few months to ensure that it's not going to go down during this time period, because Americans, we really don't have a lot of choices when it comes to platforms, right? And that's easy to use. So if you do sign up for Coinbase, keep in mind that that benefits Maria Conwell. Right now, Bitcoin and Bittrex and Kucoin were specifically mentioned from Christopher Harris, right? That's where you saw it at, specifically on those 2 platforms. Maria Conwell gave a prophetic word on Coinbase specifically at 10 cents, not 1 cent or 5 cents, but 10 cents. So obviously those are instructions we are supposed to follow. So don't put in Bitcoin buy limit orders for less than 10 cents, right? You have Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Coinbase Pro shuts down on the 21st. So if for whatever reason, by the 20th, then you're going to move all your crypto over to Coinbase from there. Then we have Kraken, right? Kraken, when you place your order, you put it in 0.1. You don't put it in 0.10, right? So I was able to place low Bitcoin buy limit orders, not only in USD, but also in euros too as well, right? So whatever country you live in, especially if you live in Europe, you might be able to put in low buy limit orders for USD, USDT, USDC, and the euro, right? And maybe even the British pound too as well. It just depends on where you live. So Kraken is a platform that I believe is very strong, and they have it folded with all these other platforms. Plus, they don't have their own token, right? So that's a big plus. Gemini, they only deal in USD, and also I was able to set up orders in euro and the British pound, right? You don't have to go that far in doing that. You just want to try to, if you're doing this for the first time, you want to concentrate on the prophetic platforms first. Kraken, I believe, is going to be one of those exchanges that are not going to use their AI system when you're taking your Bitcoin or XRP or other stuff off of your ledger and you're trying to put it on a platform. I don't think Kraken is going to, as opposed to some other platforms, you're going to have an easier time in not getting your hard ledger restricted. Now, MEXC is a newer exchange, and you can put your Bitcoin buy limit orders on there. And, they're also, you can get Bone, which is part of the Shiba Inu ecosystem on MEXC. So that's an international exchange, right? Gate.io. It will not work for people in the United States or Canada, Singapore, Malaysia, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, and some of these other countries, right? So this is basically Gate.io is a platform outside of the United States that you can use for the Bitcoin buy limit orders for Bitcoin phishing. LBank is another one, but the only reason why I originally signed up for LBank in the first place was for Empire Token, because I couldn't get it anywhere else. But they do have XLM now, but when I tried to send out XLM, it just took such a long time. Phoenix is another international exchange, but on that one, I can only set it as low as $10 per Bitcoin, and you have to send in crypto, right? Just like you do with LBank. You can't attach your bank account. You can do wire transfers, but I'm not too concerned about. I don't have any Bitcoin buy limit orders on Phoenix for $10, right? I concentrated on these 8 for me because I can't use Gate.io, so I have Bitcoin buy limit orders since I'm here in the United States with Bittrex, Kucoin, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, MEXC, and LBank, and that's it. Now, when the flash crash happens, folks, people are going to have to move fast. And I do recommend, starting today, right, that every platform that you are signed up with, you have it on your phone, okay? And make sure that you're logged in on your phone and that you check it each platform once a day. You refresh, you go in, so you don't have to sign back in. So just imagine if the SEC judgment did come out and it ruled against XRP, right? Everybody's going to be trying to log in. Well, guess what? You're already logged in. So there are other prophetic words that during this flash crash, how low some of these other cryptocurrencies are going to go. And I think there are 2 that we mainly need to focus on. Okay. The first one is Shiba Inu. So this document will also be down below in the description, right? And here there are some prophetic words concerning all of this. We have Michael Lawrence's Shiba had 9 zeros. Maria Conwell, she saw a whole bunch of zeros too as well. You actually can't set your Shiba Inu low buy limit orders for 9 zeros on most platforms. They won't even allow you to, right? I think the most you can do is 7 and then a 1. So you want to take a look at that, right? So this is also down there. So I will be setting up a few more of those orders. We do have the Bitcoin, but this is for when it completely drops, right? And it's hitting its very, very bottom. So the XRP case is supposed to crash the markets, and then you can take your Bitcoin and put it into other cryptocurrencies, right? So Shiba Inu is going to be one of them. So my low Shiba Inu orders, really I don't have that much set up right now for that or for Luna Classic. Because Luna Classic also has low pricing targets by Christopher Harris, right? Yes, you could put some at each one. Don't put a whole lot of money onto those, because even with $10 at some of these low pricing points, it's going to be a lot of either Shiba Inu or Terra Luna. So both of these links to the Terra Luna Classic and the Shiba Inu will be down below in the description, so you can go take a few dollars and so you can set up low buy limit orders for Shiba and Luna if you have it. If you don't, just focus on Bitcoin, because even if it goes up to 10,000, a lot of the other coins still won't have fully recovered. You might not get the bottom, but you're still going to do very, very well. All right, so I don't want you guys to focus a lot on that. I want you guys to focus more on the Bitcoin, right? And so again, this link will be down below in the description. It's best to view it on a desktop or iPad. If you try to do it from your phone, you're gonna be really, really confused. And take your time, folks. Don't rush. Make sure before you sign up that you can even sign up for some of these platforms. So you got to be careful. That's why I want you guys to read the entire document, go over everything. I have in here examples of, setting up your low buy limit orders for Bitcoin. All right, folks. So this is exciting. It's scary at the same time. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If not, that's fine. But we know that it's coming, right? Because they'll let you know what they're going to do before they do it. It's almost like, this is all a setup of what they're doing. They're trying to kill crypto altogether. They're trying to kill XRP. They're trying to kill Shiba Inu. They're trying to kill off the entire industry and replace it with their central bank digital coins, right? And get rid of most cryptocurrencies. Folks, and like I said, I don't know if the markets are going to go up first and then come back down, or go back down and then go up. We've seen the prophecies and prophetic dreams about flash crashes and flash spikes. And I'm getting ready to share another one here pretty soon. Actually, there's so many videos that I'd like to show you. I just can't get to them all. But just keep in mind, when it drops to 0, your BTC orders fill. It's going to jump to 10,000. You're going to sell at 10,000. Then you're going to turn around and buy a lot of these different cryptocurrencies. And then you're going to set up new Bitcoin buy limit orders for when it does go back down to 0. So, like I said, if you're limited in your funds, just focus on BTC. Don't worry so much about low orders for Shiba Inu and some of the other coins, because you're going to have plenty, right, folks, when this happens. So one last thing, folks, is to continue to pray over your investments. Continue to pray over the exchanges for the wealth transfer. Continue to pray over the swap sites and pray over the ledgers, whichever services that you're using, to make sure that everything will run smooth when all this begins to take place, right? To protect the wealth transfer, because the enemy doesn't want the wealth transfer to occur, so he's going to try to destroy it. So anyways, folks, I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.